In this video, we will learn about some user interface commands associated with Meterpreter. We will mainly be focusing on get desktop and keystroke sniffing commands. Before we move ahead, we should discuss the architecture of the Windows desktop environment in brief. This can help us understand the keystroke sniffing process better. Here is a technical block diagram of the Windows desktop. Now, the Windows desktop is divided into multiple sessions, out of which the session 0 represents the console. The other sessions represent remote desktops. These sessions are further divided into stations, out of which WinStation 0 is the only interactive Windows station. These stations are further divided into different desktop environments, which we see in front of us while working on Windows. The first one is the default desktop environment, which is the original GUI we work on while using applications and other programs on Windows operating system. The second one is the disconnect desktop, which is a screensaver of the Windows desktop environment. The third and last is the Win Logon desktop, which is the login screen that we see once we boot our Windows machine. Each of these desktop environments have their own keystroke buffers, which means that if we want to capture the keystrokes in the default desktop environment, we have to make sure that our Meterpreter session is listening on the default desktop. If we want to sniff on the logon passwords of the Windows machine, we have to make sure that the Meterpreter listens on the Win Logon desktop. Let's now move to our Meterpreter session and implement these commands. The first command that we can try is an enum desktops command. This command lists the different desktop options available to us. The get desktop command reflects the current working desktops on which Meterpreter is listening. Here you can see that Meterpreter is listening at the default desktop environment, which means that we can sniff any keystroke that is pressed inside the Windows environment. Alternatively, we can also change the processes in order to change our desktop. For example, listing the available processes by using the ps command. Here you can see that the Win Logon process is running with the ID 768. So, migrating to process number 768 by using Meterpreter will change our desktop environment to Win Logon. Now that we've migrated successfully, we can use get desktop to verify that we have migrated. Now you can see that we've migrated to the Win Logon desktop environment, previously inside the default environment. Now we can pick up any default process, such as the Explorer.exe, which is the default Windows process to go back to the default desktop environment. Now as you can see, our desktop environment is again set to default. In order to begin the keystroke capturing, we'll use keyscan_start. So now our keystroke sniffer has started. Let's now go to our target machine and do some operations. Let us move to gmail.com, enter a user ID, a password, and sign in. Now let's come back to our Meterpreter session and do a keyscan dump. This will dump all the keyscans it has recorded so far. So here you can see that the user went to gmail.com and entered a user ID and password. So this is how we can sniff different passwords. Now, if we want to sniff the Win Logon password, we can either change our desktop environment using the set desktop command, or we can change our process to Win Logon by using the migrate command. This is how keystroke sniffing actually works. So, this was a quick demonstration of how get desktop works in conjunction with the keystroke sniffing command. Another interesting command that is provided by the Meterpreter is the screenshot capture command. This command actually takes a screenshot of our target desktop. You can see that a screenshot has been taken and saved in our MSF3 directory. We can easily go and view the screenshot to have an idea of what exactly our target user is doing. These are some of the important commands that are available to us in the user interface of Meterpreter.